Landry Certified Correct Playbook.
Welcome back to the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook. Hope you guys enjoyed the game yesterday. I'm just going to try to take a moment just to try to enjoy a win. This is only the second football game that I've seen the Dallas Cowboys win in about 9 months. Okay. There's so many mistakes. There's so many problems that we see with this, the way the team is being coached, the way the plays are being called. And for a guy like me that clearly understands play calling, that clearly understands how an NFL football team is supposed to be coached, it's just a little bit different for me to watch than your regular fair weather fan. See this screenplay here. The Cowboys are going to have to understand that this screenplay is their friend. You should be running this screenplay if you're the Dallas Cowboys with the way Jerry Jones has his team built, and you don't know the secret of that screen and what it does to a flow of a game, what it does to the play calling for your offense. The Dallas Cowboys should be running a screenplay 2 times per quarter, which means they should be running 8 screenplays per game. I've been telling Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys this for the last 2 years. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. And when they do it with the consistency that they're supposed to do it, the way I describe on my shows, the play calling comes a lot easier. The play calling is a lot friendlier, and it makes everything else works. Especially when you're going to play a team like you're going to play next week. You're going to play this Seattle Seahawks that has a very aggressive defense, a very aggressive front seven. Okay, and when you know football the way the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook knows football, you understand what to do. The Cowboys lose football games because they just don't know what to do. Okay, when you got a front seven that's aggressive, the kryptonite. See, Superman was super, but he had a kryptonite. You pull that kryptonite on Superman, he had problems. If you want to start getting an aggressive front seven against the Dallas Cowboys, and if Delaney is the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys or the play caller, you know what I mean, you're going to have problems with me because I'm not going to allow that aggressiveness to cause my offense a bunch of problems. I'm just not going to let it happen because I'm going to pull that screenplay off on you, and I'm not going to just run it to one side. I'm going to screen your left. I'm going to screen your right. I'm going to screen you, and you're going to have a bunch of problems. Okay, and a good example of this is the way the Los Angeles Rams came out on the Cowboys last Sunday night. I told the Dallas Cowboys and my fans and supporters of the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook, they've seen the videos. The Rams pretty much run offensive football the way that the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook runs offensive football. It's you got a playbook in front of you, but you got to know when to call those plays. You can have 200 plays on your sheet, my friend. But if you don't know what time of the game, what down and distance of the game that this play and that play is supposed to be called, you got to know when a skinny post is supposed to be called. You got to know when a screen is supposed to be called. You got to know the flow of the game. I got to know where I'm at in the game. Okay, down and distance, it's 1st and 10. What's the score? What quarter are we in? How many timeouts do I have? All of these things add up to the play that I'm about to call. This is the knowledge. This is the sophistication. This is the philosophy that your offensive play caller has to have. And another thing that the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to understand is because of the world stage that Jerry Jones has built with this AT&T Stadium, when teams come to play us, their intensity level is two times higher than ours. Because when they look at this big world stage that you're looking at on my screen, man, they look at this as the Super Bowl. Hey, man, we're going to Dallas. They're coming from markets like Carolina, Green Bay, small cities, Jacksonville or whatever little city, man. They come down to Dallas. They see this big old stadium. They're like, hey, man, we're going to the Super Bowl. And they raise their intensity level before they get off the bus. They raise their intensity level to a Super Bowl level because they're like, hey, man, we got 100 million people watching. We're in the biggest stadium in the NFL. Well, I know LA Stadium could compare to ours now since they just built that masterpiece. But Jerry Jones has to, the coaches and the leadership of the Dallas Cowboys. If Delaney is anywhere in the Dallas Cowboy organization, I would know how to talk to my players to make them understand. And I would know how to talk to these coaches about intensity level. Your intensity level has to be 2 times higher than your opponent when you got a world stage like what they got here. So that means your play calling has to be explosive right from the first series, right when you get on the field, first quarter. In the back of your mind, you got to know that the other team that just came out of that locker room from this other market, this other smaller market, this is their Super Bowl, man. They're coming in here with all kind of plans to take our heads off, man. They're looking at this is our moment, man. This is our world stage, man. This is big Dallas, Texas. This is AT&T Stadium. We're going to go down here and embarrass these guys, man. We got our play calls. We got our plays scripted. We're going to come down here. We're going to let the air out of this stadium. We're going to embarrass these people. Our coaches and our play callers have to understand that there is a way to counter offense that. When if I was the offensive play caller of the Dallas Cowboys, my first 15 plays would be so explosive. We would score 2 touchdowns before we would even make it to the 15th play. By the 7th play, I've scored a touchdown. And then when we get the ball back, by my 11th play, we've just scored another touchdown because I'm matching intensity. I'm talking to my players in the locker room. I'm like, look, guys, our first 15 plays are going to be explosive. We might get 17 points because we got to topple. We got to go 2 times above the intensity level that this team is fired up over here. They're coming in here like this is their Super Bowl. We come down to the stadium all the time. We see the stadium all the time. We take it for granted that this is a billionaire playpen that was constructed by Jerry Jones. And this is a world stage. These guys are coming down here with their A+ game. That means the Dallas Cowboys, they got to match that intensity, dude. You can't be coming down to the stadium like, oh, well, we're here every day. It doesn't look like nothing, different to us. This is normal. No, you got to come in here like, hey, man, these guys, this is their Super Bowl. I got to screen left, screen right. I got to screen left, screen right. I got to keep this defense off balance. I got to make sure that their intensity of their front 7 that's coming to kill my quarterback, coming to tackle my running back in the backfield, I got to make sure they don't get none of this off. I'm on a screen. I can show you a play from time. I can show you a game. If anybody wants to challenge me, Google the game, Miami Dolphins and Dallas Cowboys, the Super Bowl. What was that off the top of my head here? What is that? Dallas won that game 24-3, I think it was. Okay, and this is the Super Bowl way back in 1971 or 2 or something like that. Tom Landry called 10 screenplays before halftime. That's how he knocked off Don Shula, okay? Because Don Shula had a game plan of how he was going to come in here and embarrass America's team, embarrass Tom Landry, and Tom Landry was not hearing it, okay? And that's why it's hard for me to get excited, my friends, because I know that there's some younger fans and stuff here. But I'm cut from the mesh of Tom Landry. Tom Landry could be winning a game 40-0, and if you looked at his face, you would think that the Dallas Cowboys were losing. That's how focused Tom Landry is. That's how disciplined Tom Landry was. That's why he was a man that took his team to 5 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. And I can show you in the other 3 Super Bowls how we could have easily won those 3. Tom Landry could have easily went 5-5. Tom Landry could have went 5 his team could have won all 5 of those Super Bowls. I don't have time to show you in this show how it would work, but the 2 Pittsburgh Super Bowls was lost by a total of a touchdown. We lost one of the games by 3 points, and I think we lost the other game by 2 points. These are Super Bowls against Terry Bradshaw and the great Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that's why I don't get excited, and that's what the problem is with the Cowboys, man. You got to have focus. Okay, you won. You shouldn't have won this game. I can tell you a million things that McCarthy did wrong. I can tell you a million things with the mechanics of the players. You're fumbling the ball all over the place. You're on national TV, all set to embarrass the fans and supporters of the Dallas Cowboys again, man. And we're just sick of the embarrassment, Mr. Jones. I know you've done some great things with the team. I'm going to give Jones credit. I mean, if you look at what Jones have done, man, Jerry Jones, man, he spent probably $1 billion in the last 10 years constructing these teams. He constructed 2 powerhouse offenses for Jason Garrett. Tony Romo, and then you had Marion Barber for a while. That was a dominant offense that should have won a Super Bowl with Jason Witten. And then came along Des Bryant. You know, we had DeMarcus Ware. You know, if you add up the way that Jerry Jones assembled those teams, and add up the way that Jerry Jones has assembled this team in the last 4 years, building up this pro formation offense with these indestructible offensive lines, Jerry Jones has done a masterful job. The only mistake that Jerry Jones made out of all of those eras when he spent this $1 billion, you know, on each one of these teams, paying for these players and building up these teams, he didn't have a person in his skybox that is a play caller, that is a sniper. You have to be a sniper, okay? That's why Jerry Kraft sits up drinking his champagne. He's never worried about nothing because he's got sniper play callers. The Patriots are going to be in every game to the end of the game like you saw last night. The Patriots are always going to be sniffing the Super Bowl. And if you look closely at the Patriots, they're doing the same thing that Tom Landry did. They're doing the same thing that Norv Turner and Ernie Zampese did. You cannot fool the Delaney certified correct playbook. I know where your success is coming from because you have the secret of play calling. You have the secret of knowing how to take the energy and the air and taking all of that energy out of that other team, and you're doing it with your play calling. And this is what Jerry Jones could be enjoying. I can make Kellen Moore a 2-time Super Bowl champion, but he has a headset on, and he doesn't have the Delaney certified correct playbook on the other headset. So when he gets stuck, hey, Delaney, what do we do here? I know you got the call because of your almost 4 decades of football experience. I got the play call. Mr. Kellen Moore, this is what you got to call for this situation. Whether, you know, that's what you don't have. You don't have a sniper play caller, okay? McCarthy, you go off the field last week, you leave a timeout in your pocket. That's terrible coaching. That was a very, very pivotal moment in the game, the last moments of that game. You're supposed to call a timeout, get your team ready, call 3 plays, get a timeout, and coming down that stretch against Los Angeles last week, you didn't even call a timeout, man. Prescott got sacked, and you still didn't call a timeout. You know, Zeke gets stopped in the backfield down that stretch. You don't call that timeout. You took the timeout and kept it in your pocket and took it home. I guess you ate it for dinner. I don't know what you did with it, McCarthy. But, dude, I'm going to try to enjoy the win. I saw so many mistakes in this game that are all coaching mistakes and they're all play calling mistakes. If Jerry Jones isn't going to hire the right kind of coach, then the least thing he could do for the fans and the supporters of the Dallas Cowboys, I don't even give a damn if it's virtual. I'll wear the headset from home. Kellen Moore has to have somebody in his ear with the intelligence level of this play calling for the National Football League, somebody that knows what they're doing and what they're talking about. So I want to give Jerry Jones credit on a couple of things. I did make a mistake with the name of the owner of the Patriots. I think his name is Bob Kraft, and he sits back and drinks a lot of champagne with his rich friends in his skybox, not worrying about anything because he knows his offensive play caller is upper echelon. He knows his head coach is upper echelon. Jerry Jones is always in his skybox. Every time they point the camera on him, he's always biting his fingernails. Oh, I hope, I wish. I hope this goes okay. There he is right there. It went okay for you. It was an onside kick. But when you got Delaney in Kellen Moore's ear, you could be sitting up like Mr. Kraft, not worrying about things and having fun with your billionaire friends because you know you're about to 95% of the time, you're about to win the game because you got sniper play callers. And that's what the Delaney certified correct playbook is. He's a sniper play caller. I could be a head coach, offensive coordinator, whatever you want. But if you had me in your skybox, you wouldn't have to bite your nails anymore, Mr. Jones. You would know you're going to win the game like you did when you had Jimmy Johnson and Norv Turner and you had Dave Wanstead. You had coaches is the reason why. Yeah, you spent the money on the team, but you had coaches that knew the secret of this play calling, that knew the secret of Super Bowl football coaching. So I got great news for you, Mr. Jones. You have a Super Bowl special teams coach. You have a decent defensive coordinator. He's got a lot of cleanup work to do, but I think he'll come around. I don't know what's going to happen with McCarthy. He's going to have to show me a lot more. But the good news is Kellen Moore's there for business reasons. I understand the business of the National Football League, but Kellen Moore needs an assistant play caller that's in his ear on his headset that will make him a 2-time Super Bowl play caller, and his name is the Delaney Certified Correct Playbook. All you got to do is grab me.